Well, hello, friends. Clever Trev here, and I'm going to do a little painting tutorial, demonstration, whatever you want to call it. Mostly just going to be tutorial, demonstration. Let's turn this volume down. Mostly just going to be tutorial, demonstration. So it's obviously working on YouTube. I just had to turn the volume down on my laptop. So here's just a ruler. So when you use a palette knife to paint, it's different than a regular brush, like this. The palette knife, you're kind of putting the paint down and you kind of spread it. And we'll get all the details in a minute here. The first thing we're going to do is I'm just going to show you. By the way, it's going to be a black and white painting. We got white paint, gray paint, and black paint. And before we do this, you can see what kind of colors we're working with. So we'll start with white, and it's white paint on white paper, so you're not really going to be able to see it, but you will at the same time. So I put 3 little blobs down, 1, 2, 3. And what I'll get up, and you probably can't, we're going to scrape them later. So white, now we're going to do gray and then black. We're going to go light to dark. Put a little gray here. Next to the first white. Gray by itself and then a gray over there. Whatever. This is kind of a warm-up too before I actually start painting. Okay, and then black. But before we do black, let's just do one quick little blend. Let's do it one more time. So you see we're getting a little texture and some cool variants going on. Let's do some black. And one over here. Now it's about to get fun. This is why I love art and painting, is because who knows what's going to happen next, but I know my plan that I have, it's going to at least do something cool. We're about to find out. So let's do this group right here. And the trick is you're really gentle when you're pushing up the paint. You don't want to be pushing down on it hard. You almost want to just let your palette knife glide over the paint, and it'll just eventually push its way out, and it blends better that way. Knife. So let's do back over, how about right here? Here. And for the sake of demonstration, we're going to drag down once over, like, how about here? Maybe here a little bit. Let's drag back up. So let's do a little extra drag now, blend it all in. I'm kind of rushing through it. So as you can see, the black is very overpowering, so I really need to make sure I don't use too much black in the actual canvas painting. And you don't really notice the whites a whole lot, but that's okay. Eventually we'll add those in later, and when we really need the whites, we'll be able to put them in through. One last thing, just to see where we're going with this. Even though I did this already, we can still put paint over on top of it. So we'll put some there, maybe a little over here. Maybe one just over here. And let's get some gray in there. Let's say we have too much black, we just paint over it with, we just add gray and white. put a gray right on top of the white there. So just kind of going with the flow. So there's a lot of different colors, textures. I like this, you know, there's so much going on. And this was our test here. We were just trying to get our colors figured out. We've got 3 colors, black, gray, and white. And that's all we're going to be using, besides a little mixture that I'll show you in a second here. But I'm ready. I'm feeling confident. You know, we can keep spreading this out, but let's say I do it too much. Eventually you lose some of the detail because you're just it just all kind of turns into gray. So there's a happy medium where you want to move it around, but you want to stop eventually when it looks cool, pretty much. And you can even dig in and do, you know, I could dig in and make some actual patterns. In this painting that we're going to do, it's all vertical, but a lot of times when people are doing palette knife paintings, they'll even do horizontal stuff. You know, they might do this kind of thing. So you get like horizontal. Oops, ah, crap. This paper is not meant for painting, by the way. It's just kind of. But so I pretty much ruined it. There's too much going on. But that's why it was just a test paper. So we're gonna get this out of here. We're gonna clean up our workspace, and we're gonna get started on the real deal. Let's see. Let me check my computer. See, I see some people are commenting. My bad. Slayer. There's my buddy. So we're live streaming on YouTube, but if you're watching this afterwards, it doesn't really make much of a difference. Hoping you can learn a little bit. Anybody can paint. If you were to follow this demonstration that I'm about to do, I guarantee you could do it. All you really need is white, gray, black, a canvas, and a couple palette knives. You can even get away with just one palette knife. But anyway, let's get our canvas set up. Let's make sure our camera is still looking good. Looks alright. Let's put a pencil there. Alright. Is that in focus, I hope? Yeah, it looks good. So you might be able to see it, might not, but I drew a line right here. It's dead center. This painting is 18 inches by 24 inches. So this is right at 9 inches here, and I've got a line, because what we're going to do, the overall goal here in this painting is it's going to be a reflection painting where the top of the painting, this whole top half above this line, is going to be trees, and down here is water, but because it's water and it's reflective, the trees are going to reflect down. So it's going to be a very vertical painting, a lot of lines going up and down. We're not going to be doing a whole lot of horizontal work. And this is a pretty big canvas, 18 by 24. To give you an example, here's a pop can. My point is, we have to cover a lot of canvas. We're going to kind of need a lot of paint to cover this whole thing. We don't want to leave white canvas. So to get it started, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this pre-made paint that I already made, and it's about 90% white, 5% gray, and then a bunch of water. So it's mostly white, but a little bit of gray. And what we're going to use this for is to help us cover some of the surface area before we get started. And a lot of artists would call this a wet on wet painting, because before we actually start doing the detail, we're doing a wet layer of just like a base, and then everything you do after that, you're painting over a wet surface, so it helps you blend better. So that's what I would call it, a wet on wet. I'll probably add that in the title eventually, wet on wet palette knife painting. So let's get going here. So the first thing we're going to do is just cover the whole painting pretty much with my little mixture here that I made. And I might have to remake this line here that I can see, but that's fine. And let's just dig in. We're going to kind of do a splatter all around just to help us evenly paint the whole surface. I don't want to use too much paint. But I can tell we're going to need more paint to cover the whole thing. But it's a good start. It already looks kind of cool. And if you're ever painting, usually you want to give yourself, depends on what you're painting, but I always like to give myself a base coat of some shade because it's just more natural, it looks more natural. So let's throw some more paint down the canvas, drip it on there. Right now we're just kind of not worrying too much about any kind of detail or anything, we're just really trying to cover the whole painting, or at least about, I don't know, I'd say 80 to 90%. But I'm being very light with the brush, I'm not pushing too hard. You want these brush strokes to look natural. But I'm digging it right now, I'm liking how it's looking. We might not cover everything up. In fact, we won't, just because it's already looking pretty good. But I just want to fill in any big looking gaps, anything obvious, and also focusing on the edges because as this painting progresses, it's going to be light in the center here, and it'll get darker as it goes out and expands. So it'll be darker, especially down here. It'll be darker, a little bit darker, kind of like a oval of darkness, medium, and then light. It'll be lighter here because if you think of a sunset, the sun will be in the middle and it emits light but eventually fades. And I'm feeling like we're gonna be good here. Just gonna fill in the gaps at the end. And because I really soften it up just a little bit in the middle, we'll let the darker stuff be on the outside, and if we can pick up some of this paint, if I can just, might not work very well. Let's see. Kind of just remove, or let's try a paper towel. There we go. So towards the center of it, I'm removing some of the gray because it's going to be lighter here. Okay. And we can even do it on the outside a little, give it a little more detail. But most of this is going to get covered up anyway. Probably shouldn't spend too much time. And let's give it a spray. I got a bottle of spray water here because I want all this paint to stay wet so that as we go through this painting here, the paint that I add, it's going to blend with this paint that I just put down, and it'll kind of blend and it'll change colors. That's kind of the whole point of this. So let me give me 1 second to clean up. Be right back. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is start adding our paints. We've got our whites, our gray, and our black. And again, what it's going to be is going to be trees, reflections of trees, and then the kind of light emitting through the trees towards you. So Most paintings you usually start light to dark. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be starting with the white, eventually working to the gray, and then to the black. As we start with the whites in the middle, grays, and then the blacks will be on the perimeter. But also the black will also be the trees. So I'll add the trees later. The first thing we're going to do is kind of make the background, because we can easily put the black trees on top, because black paint will pretty much always override any other paint. That's also why it's a double-edged sword. You got to be careful. Okay. So white paint is what we're going to start with. Let's get these out of here. Now the fun begins. This was just kind of the setup, blueprints, and what's nice is I can still see my horizontal line all the way across, pretty much all the way. We can even get a little crazy here and do a dab here and there, just to soften up that line. Don't tell anybody, it's our little secret. We can soften it up. Because the horizon is where the light is going to be coming through the most. It gets darker as it goes up. Because we're going to imagine that the sun is just about set. It even already set, but there's still light kind of glowing through. So the light is, that's why the light is emitting here, and it's reflecting. White paint. Here we go. Now, before I do this, let's make sure the stream is still working. Yep. 18 minutes. Maybe my laptop froze. That's fine. Yep, still going. So before I really get into this, Clever Trev's got to take a little potty break, so I'll be right back. I hope you can't hear me. The bathroom's kind of close. Be right back. Alright, we're back. We're about to get started. We're going to add some white paint. We're going to use a larger palette knife. And as we progress through this painting, one of the main things I need to remember is, because it's a reflection, whatever I do up here, it's got a mirror down here. But for now, not perfectly, you want it to be somewhat random. So and do we want to do some gray in there? Yeah, let's throw a little bit of gray just to start. I don't want to get too much in there to throw things off. Just a little random one. Get some overlapping here. Here. And one over right here. So, what is going on right now, you might be wondering? Well, you'll see. These are right on the vertical or the horizontal line, the horizon, pretty much. And here we go. Let's see where we want to start. Okay, here's our first stroke. Decent. Maybe too much gray. I gotta be a little bit lighter. We're gonna copy it down here now. Here we go. We're gonna give it one more swipe. You can even go up here again. I'm just gonna soften this up with a little scrape. Maybe scrape there. Okay. That's a good start. There's going to be a lot of that going on, just up and down. It's like a reflection. Check it out. Here's the water down here. Let's keep going. Boom. We're cruising, baby. Love it. This is the best therapy anybody could ever give you. Guarantee it. Let's try to hit this little patty right here. Oh man, loving it so far. We've got some really good reflections going here. We could even add a little bit of reflection, like I could take out, see there's a gap here. I could take out the gap right there. Gotta be careful not to do too much. Just little things like that over time can really add up. Okay, let's keep rolling. Hell yeah. Okay, let's go with these guys over here. Hey, you guys seem like your friends. Not perfect. Let's see if I can replicate that. Oh, yeah. And let's smooth that out a little bit. It's a little too extreme. Real careful. A little bit of that, and a little bit of that. Just a little bit. Tame it down a bit. Okay, we've got this here. Let's find this. Sorry, I can't see it. Yeah. I don't like how that gray got in there. It's not meant to be there. But we can fix that if we have to eventually. It probably won't even matter. This layer that we're doing now, it's so like non-important. I mean, it is, but everything we do after this is going to be on top of it. So it's always going to be. Speaking of which, let's get it a little wet here. Spray it up. All right. So we still have to work with these little blobs that I've created. Let's do it right now. What I'm trying to do is slice right in the middle of it. So I get right in the center and I start right at the horizon and I just drag it down. Let's bring it back. Try to bring it back right away. You don't want to wait. You got it in your memory of how you just did that last stroke. It's still good though, right? I'll take it. We'll take it! Sorry. Dumb and Dumber reference. So I'm noticing the camera needs to be backed up a little bit. Back it up. Half an inch. Does that help? 3, 2, 1. Nope, that was the wrong way. Here. Hey, we're learning. Oh, I got a blob here I still got to work with. Once the camera resets itself, and I know it's good. Okay. Still too much. Oh, no, I fixed that. I should have just left it. Probably would have done. Too late. Skirt. A little more. I'm bad at that. I'm new to this whole streaming art thing. Usually I'm secluded in my own little world without having to worry about anything, so let's hope the quality doesn't suffer from it. Here we go. So we got a little gray thing. And you know what? I'm gonna add a little friend. Two friends. Oh shit. That's unfortunate, but it's fine. Happy mistake, folks. Bob Ross said it best. Baby. Gotta be careful. You got this wet paint. But what I was gonna do is add a little white paint. Just a tiny little teeny weeny. Let's get the teeniest little paint we can. Doesn't want to though. Just go to your destiny. See, you know what? Next time when that happens, I'm gonna use a palette knife. I can slice it off where I want it. Anyway, so let's get this little palette knife going. Let's get myself some room here. You want to have like a free range of motion. Get this out of here. Get this out of there. Free range of motion. It's almost like you're curling or something, or some kind of crazy sport. Love it. So, it's such a soothing experience to do what I'm doing right now. I don't know. It's hard to explain. I felt really good. Looking good. Looking good. So, we've got our upper area. We've got our water. So this is the reflection. You still haven't done black. And we're still not gonna do black. We're still gonna work on a little more grays and whites. And that time it was mostly white that I put. I feel like I barely put gray, but you see how dominant the gray is. That shows us that we need to be careful of adding too much gray. Same with the black. We don't want too much black. So let's make sure we're adding enough white to balance the grays and blacks. Man, it looks good right now. I mean, we could almost say, hey, we're done. I mean, I wouldn't, but I would maybe make this more of a tree, this a tree, but I could totally be done right there. But I want to add more detail. I want to add a lot more cool stuff. We're not over yet, so again, we're using palette knives, different sizes. We're not using brushes yet. We did use a brush to coat the background, but that doesn't really count. So, what next? What I'd like to do is kind of squint my eyes and look at the whole contrast of the painting. The gray is really dark. The whites are pretty similar to gray, light gray. But kind of what I imagine is this will be mostly white, at least the horizon part. So let's do a little bit more of that. Dots of gray. Let's do really small things of gray, blending with the whites. Still no black. Still not really confident in the black yet. I feel like I could screw that up easily and it would just hard to fix that. But at the same time, you can scrape away the black paint. So let's do some white paint. So I'm thinking we're gonna fill in these gaps. You see all these gaps where it's just gray? I don't want that. From pretty much here to here, I want a white horizon connected throughout. So we'll probably work on that. Let's get some water. And there's plenty of artists that would probably watch this and they don't approve of my water usage, a lot of my extra water, because the more water that you add to your paint, it kind of dilutes your paint and it deteriorates the quality of your paint, because the more water you add to your paint, it's not as good as at sticking to things. So you think of paint as like glue. I use too much water, but what I do is I use a ton of water. Once I'm done with my painting, I seal it with a really good layers of a fixative, like a clear polyester sealant over the top of it, so that way it doesn't deteriorate. But we just sprayed it with a bunch of water, and we're going to add this white paint. So let me just think about it for a second. The horizon is right here. Starts here, and it goes over here. Let me think for a sec. Crack a beer. Around here, probably too much water, but whatever. All right, do a little stretch. The rare face review. After the chair, it's pretty typical. Screw fell out. I'll have to fix that sometime. White. All right, here we go. Okay, so we just threw some whites. We're gonna throw a little bit of grays in. That just totally sucked, but okay, we'll adapt. So I splurted a little gray over here, but we're just gonna splurt a little gray over here because it's a mirror. Trees, water, reflection of trees and shit. A little gray, splurt. It happens to everybody, you know. Okay. Boom. What's up? All right. Do we want to add something here? I gotta get better with my little nozzle control here. Just throw a little. I don't think it helps that it's like an oversized bottle, which. But what if we just did this right here? A little bit there. There. Oh. space. There's some dead space here, 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 here. But now that we put these globs here, we're going to fill in that dead space. We're going to be filling in this stuff over here to give it some detail instead of just being a boring old nothing. And we're going to continue, keep our largest palette knife. Let's make sure we're still streaming before we go. Yep, 38 minutes. All right. Where to start? Where do you want it? No, I see that. I see what you're telling me. We're gonna do one aggressive move here. This is our first aggressive move. Usually I discourage it, but we're going for it. Oh wait! Oh! Look at that! I even squirted out black. I didn't want to do black. I wanted gray. Damn, Trev, calm down, bro. Calm down. We need some gray in this bitch. Whoa. You know what? Let's just leave it as is. Okay. How about let's start over here. So again, we're starting right on the horizon, and I made a line across the whole canvas here, and including over here, so I can see exactly where I need to go, which is very helpful. Get this going over here a little. Same with you. Okay. Trying to balance it out here. Yeah. So now I gotta try to replicate that. 3, 2, 1. But we got gray and white, whatever. Okay, let's keep going. Got the horizon right here. Top part, let's get the reflection. Nice and easy. We're looking good. I'm liking this a lot so far. A lot of times at this stage of a painting, you're like, what the this is the worst shit I've ever seen? Burn it! But right now, I'm liking it, because I can see where it's going. You can already see, you can see my trees up here. You can see the paint, the reflection of my trees. And you can see that I'm about to do some more of that shit. Let's go. Find the horizon. At least the best that we can. We're not trying to be perfect here, we're just trying to be gentle. Dots. I kind of prefer to have a straight line, but we can easily add that. I'd rather have this down here. Let's hope. Watch, I'll do it just perfect. Okay. We're going to give it a stroke in. Another stroke in here. Try to connect it. But again, that's fine. I shouldn't be worrying about it so much. A little bit of that. Okay. Anyway, sorry. We got globs here, over here. Let's go over here with this guy. Really, it's like we're just wingsuiting through the canyon. It's even more free here. just flying in, gliding in. Prepare for your landing. You're just gonna glide in. Calm down. Settle down. It's okay. If I could just repeat that moment over and over again, I would. This could be just its own painting right here. 12 by 24 right here. Well, I'd call it fucking stretch of the gray spine. The gray. $3,200. What do we got? Bonus time. We've entered bonus time. What does that mean? Now we have a crazy little extra light flickering around. Yes, I like it. 45 minutes. We've gotten the stuff. Oh, we gotta spray it. Spray it. Say it, don't spray it. Boom. Here we go. Camera angle looks good. We got some good reflection going on. Keep in mind we're backwards. You should be this way, but you're that way. I'm sorry. Sorry. So what next? Well, we really should have probably finished these here. So we're gonna do that first. I guess we'll take it from there. And I take a lot of breaks. That's why I like this water spray. It allows me to sustain the paint. What would you call it? Blendability. It allows me to blend the paints better, keeping it wet. Once it dries, you can't paint. You can't blend dry paint. You know. Okay. Anyway, calm down. Okay, I see the horizon right here. Oh yes. Nice and free. We're just free. Just free. It's okay. Let's be free down here. So that was a little aggressive. Let's tame it down a little bit. Let's just give it a little tame. Paper towel. We're gonna tame it. Just calm down. We just pick up a little bit of the paint. Not too much. I did like it. I'm not hating on it. It was just too bold for me. And it's a good demonstration of. So we always want this to be darker. We want these trees to be more prominent because when they reflect, you lose some of the tree because it's reflection and you'll see more reflection. So that's why I like to get rid of some of this. Get rid of some of these over here. That way you'll see a tree here, but yeah, you know what I'm saying. give it a little bit of water. We're gonna give it 6 sprays. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sprays. Okay. Oh, we missed a little blob here. And we're gonna, the whole time we've been using this bigger palette knife, we're gonna go a little smaller. I can barely see the horizon line. Alright, so did we get all the blobs? We gotta fix this here. Just fix a few things. Smooth things out a little bit. And now you see, right when I started the painting, how I did that very first base coat of light gray, and you can see it like it's right here. This gray here, you know. That was the first thing I did. Now you see how important it is that I did that, because now we have. I mean, I could end right here. I could say we're done. Because the fact that we covered the whole painting with at least some kind of color instead of just white. But I'm hoping that right now what you see is trees and the reflection of trees. But we still are progressing. So what next? The camera on. Let's hope that's good. Still alive? This is the way we should be fixing it. Is that good? Yeah, sure. Oh. I'm just looking from up top here. I'm right on the camera. I'm probably breathing into the microphone. But you know, the view that you're seeing right now is kind of inverted. You're kind of seeing it from the upside down, but imagine from my view. But we're gonna keep going here. So far we've only done white and gray with that little background. Oh, it looks so good. It looks good. We got a good start here. I'm really inspired right now. Enthusiastic. So what next? We're still not in black paint territory yet. Okay. We need more white. Okay. And I can still do that. Okay, I put a light on. It's throwing me off. Let's get rid of that. Sorry. trying to get the right. Making it worse. Oh, right hand's gotta go down. Okay. The whole thing about art and being a good artist is you don't ever want to like rush anything. You want to make sure you know what you're doing before you do it. And right now, that's why I'm taking a little bit longer, is because I want to make sure I know what I'm doing. And a few things I see right away. I'm going to drag this out. Let's get this over here. You gotta be careful. This thing is very dramatic. Like, you see that? It's easy to fix though. Careful now. About to screw things up. Alright. So what's next? I still need a little more white, a little more brightness in the center of the painting. And then maybe some gray. Yep, let's do some gray coming down. So the next thing I'm gonna do is gonna put whites here, little grays, and then grays here, pulling them down. And then hopefully once we have that, we'll have some brightness here, darkness on the perimeter, and then we can start adding the actual trees and the detail. That sounds about right. So the first thing, white, gray, we'll blend them, we'll do back and forth. Maybe I'll try to do a white, I'll drag a white and then drag a gray. Or drag a gray and then drag a white, so that they blend well. They kind of come together and it's more of a natural. You don't want it to be like obvious that there's a color here and a color here. You want things to just naturally kind of flow like they do in real life. Let's spray it a little. Let's get some. Very good, very good. Oh, oops. I'm loving this. It's exactly where I would want it to be at this point in the painting. A lot of times you're painting stuff and it just doesn't really feel like it's good. So this is a good sign. And we're going to continue it right after I use a little boy's room, because I have the bladder the size of a 6-year-old Adam. Feels good. So we very well may be on our longest live stream I've ever done. Let's see, we're at an hour. We could easily achieve that. I'm not really sure what my longest live. A lot of times when I'm painting too. If you like Bacardi and you like Superior, then we're not doing black yet. Let's do it. Back thin, very thin. Let's see if we try to get our bit better mixed up. Shift some of this up a little. A little bit more. We got our gray. Get some gray. Let's just start doing little slivers. Holy shit. Got gray there. Okay. Now let's start blending. But this time, my main important factor is getting white. I don't want the white too far out this time. In fact, let's get a little more, just a couple more dots. There we go. So right now it looks like nothing. So we're gonna try to get whites, lots of white here, not so much over here, but mostly in the middle here. Let's do one more chunk of white. All right, real. So what we're trying is coming from, and everything else is going to get darker because the light is coming right here, pretty much right in the center. Let's do some little water spray. So again, very light, even lighter than normal, because we're trying to not get all the way to the end. Let's start over here. Alright. Up and then down. Just doing a mirror. Top, bottom, mirror, center. Let's do it right here. tricky one. Didn't really make much of a difference. We'll just add some splotches here and there just so that we don't waste the paint. Okay, so let's add one right here, really short. Let's go really short. Here's the right where my fingernail is. Sure, whatever. Fingernail, fine. I was so relaxed that I dropped the fucking palette knife. And the garbage. It's a little too much. A little too much. We just dab it up. Okay. Look how much paint I put on my shirt. I needed to stop. There we go. Looking good. Let's keep going. Oops. All right. So all the little things that we're doing right now, they're very vague. They're not like super important things, but over time, they really represent the overall picture, which is just a white, you know, I'm trying to fit things in. So even though it looks like I'm doing a lot of things right now for one color, eventually I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to tone that. Like we got a lot of white that I've added, but eventually we're going to bring that white back. We're going to bring it even further with the blacks and the really dark colors. I can even go. Careful. That's why I take my time. Do crazy stuff like that. Screw it up. But I can fix that real easy. It's about to get fixed. Oh, you're fixed. Alright. Alright, so. What next again? Did we fill in all those little blobs? There's one right there, and let's add a little. Let's add a little bit more right here. Okay. Covered that. That's great. We're gonna start. There we go. You gotta commit sometimes. You just gotta go for it. I'm not sure if this was the greatest move right here, but we can add a little. See how I can just add a little extra detail. Let's just do a little. Just swipe down a little here, down a little. We're just kind of, we're lightly just blending everything. I'm not trying to make any crazy movements. Just nice and easy. Very relaxed. Oh, you see, again, I'm too relaxed. I end up dropping my tools. you look at how everything I've done so far, it's very vague. There's no like specific, but there's so many little subtle things that are in here that can really help me take the next step in this painting, which is really emphasizing on the reflection of the trees that I'm in. But because this is such like a really good start, we have a good reflection. You can see this is like, I'll probably have a tree right here, and it's just perfect. This is like a really good reflection here. If I add more to here, this really mirrors it, but because it's kind of like covered over with more white and gray, it's going to really look pretty, especially when we have it, the whole painting is like that, and down here it's a little more vague, it's not so detailed, just like you would expect from reflection off of a lake or a river. So the next decision we have to make is, do we want to keep adding more to the background, or do we really want to start adding the trees, adding the real detail? And I think the answer is that we're going to start adding the trees and the detail. And we have a pretty good guide here. Like, I'll have a tree here, a really skinny tree here, tree here, skinny tree here. And man, the more I think about it, hold on. The more I think about it, that could be the whole painting right here. This is the tree here, pretty big, maybe the biggest tree. Skinny tree, distant medium tree, medium tree, medium, large, medium, skinny tree. Do it. Let's go for it. So I'm not going to add any more trees with the black. Normally I would have put like, you could put a black here and make a tree, but it's kind of a random layout that I got already, and it's organic, and I didn't even think about it when I made it, so I might as well go with it. Let's do it. Yeah, I like it. Okay. So we're going to start adding black paints. Before that, we're going to make our own. Because I can't see it anymore. I kind of lost it. Let's add some water, by the way. Okay. Look at my hands. This is my happy place right here. This is how I deal with problems and things. So, it's awesome. Right now for me it's a Tuesday night / Wednesday morning. Maybe, I don't know what time it is, but really cool. I'm like a beautiful thing with a reflection of something completely opposite. And we just find a happy medium. And I just had an idea here. Let's make sure we're gonna do a very light. This is like the wimpiest little paper towel. Spray it once. We're just doing this lightly. Probably nothing you can even notice. Start over. And but Making a painting like this, it's all about these little... You probably didn't notice anything, even on a 1080p video, but there might just be one little stroke of paint that makes the whole difference. Who knows? So let's go to our next step, which is black paint. We have yet to use this on this painting. And we're getting a little off center again. Let's make sure. Is that better? Let's see. My left hand. That needs to go. Very cool. Let's do some more water. Keeping everything nice and workable. Left. Okay. Let me wash my hands, and then we'll start throwing down some black paint. Yeah! Oh. Decision time. This is where it really becomes make or break. Need some more paper towels. Doop, doop. I use weird little paper towels. I like to cut them up in little tiny pieces because let's say I do a stroke off. And then I put it down. Now I have to throw that away. Whatever. Let's do some more water. Just because I'm taking so long. But not too much. I see little, if I look down here, look at an angle like this, I see that I have like drops of water. Oh shit. Let's fix that real quick. Let's not worry about that too much. Okay, so we got I need to add some more water to the spray bottle. Got it. Spray bottle full. What's next? Now, let's say you're watching right now and you're wondering what's going on. But right now I'm painting. I like to play music too and other stuff, but right now we're painting and I'm using a palette knife and we're using acrylic paint on a canvas, 18 by 24. And we're gonna make a reflection painting, trees on the top, reflection of the trees on the bottom. This is the horizon right here. The light will be more in the center. It'll get darker as we go out. Yeah, that's it. Boom. Taking a little second to regain my stamina. Okay. So we are on to the black paint. So far, we've got the gray, we've got the white, and we've got the whitish gray, which is this stuff here, edge right here, a lot of this edge here. That's what we've got so far. Time for the black. And I really need to focus here. I got to stay in my element here. I can't, you know, I've had a few beers. I need to make sure I stay grounded. I need to have the trees. We're going to follow our pre-made trees and twigs, shrubbery. And let's start on the left. A little nervous. This is a step that's very important. So I'm just going to take my time with it. With our medium palette knife. Once cleaned it up quick. Should we keep the large? We'll keep the large available. These two knives, we'll see. We'll roll with it. Roll with it. Let's start with the smaller one. This guy right here. All right. So I've kind of lost my horizon, so we're gonna recreate it. And this might sound crazy, but what we're gonna do is actually mark our ruler. So you see what I mean here. So I've got just a little bit of black paint on my finger. One. Shit, I forget how long, but. So, we've got a little black on this ruler now. So we're gonna mark our horizon one more time. I had it marked earlier, but we just painted over it pretty much. Oops, shit. Didn't want to do that. Brush. Oh, I'm screwing it all up. It's fine. Whatever. We'll fix it. Ruler is killing me. Alright, here we go. Alright. We got it marked again. Alright, is this even focused? Let me try to refocus this. Doesn't look right. There we go. Let's see. What's going on here? Morty. Can I just focus? It looks fine on my... Looks fine on my phone. Looks focused. If I look at my laptop, it looks shitty. Oh, it's because I'm at
Portable quality. Okay, there we go. There we go. Alright. Okay.
So it's good. It's good. We're good. Feeling good. So I just made a horse, and just to show you what's going on here. So we're at 9 inches because it's 18. So this canvas is 18 by 24. Here's the other 9. Right here, 9. So you should hopefully see the horizon here. La 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 la. La 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 la. My name is Trev and I like to paint. I like the shit that I like, I must say. So let's add some black acrylic paint. All right, this is gonna be some extreme shit right here. We gotta follow our guidelines. Paint, 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 paint. Let's go. Let's have the light coming from the right. No, light from the left. Light from, just to remind myself. Let's do scissors over here. Green light. This is the horizon. We're reflecting. So everything we do here, we want it here. But this is reflection of it, so it's a water, so it could be a little more abstract. This is a little more permanent, literal. Let's go with do a little spray. Nice. Good start. Fix that up.
Start dead center.
Clean. Whatever. Reflection. Getting there.
Let's add here. Dead center. All the way.
Shit. It's fine. So it's a lot of trying to minimize this black. Alright, we'll leave that for now. Shit, too much. Oh shit, look at that. Can clear it up. Clean up patrol. Sorry, we'll fix it. Won't even notice it. Might even help it. In fact, we'll make sure it helps it. We're gonna make that a happy mistake. Look, you can't even fucking notice it. Fuck it. Suck a dick. Alright. So we got side of a tree, definitely a tree. Maybe get a little bit more here. That's our first tree. Boom. And just because crazy, we're gonna get rid of, we're gonna make a little wave. This is the tree. This is the reflection of the tree. Hopefully I can help with that. I don't like... I don't want any indifferences. Oh, it's fine. fine. All right. All right. Reflection, water, tree. Boom. We're starting here. Ew. What we got here? So imagine this is going to be how the whole painting is going to be. Trees, little trees, tree, big tree, little branches, medium tree, little tree, background. We'll make sure to leave this blank over here. And then, who knows what kind of little details we'll add. Let's give it a little water burst. But you can tell how we've been very light with the paint. We can even remove some of this black, and it's going to blend with this gray a little bit better. See how we had gray underneath it? And let's say I took a little palette knife and I removed some of the black. Oops. It kind of lightens it up a little bit, a little more texture, and then I can even blend it with a little paper towel. Oops. And that was maybe a little too much. I removed a little too much paint, so let's make sure we'll add a little bit of black paint. We'll just add it to it. Maybe even some black paint down here just to blend it a little bit better. There we go. That's good. Why not? Maybe we'll just remove a little bit of paint right at the horizon, just to define it a little bit better. A little bit more. And then we'll just blend it back a little bit. Let's blend just a tad. Whatever. Alright. Focusing too much on that. Let's keep moving. I like it. It looks like a tree reflection. We'll add more. We'll add more later. Okay. So we're gonna keep just moving from the left to the right. We're gonna add some more trees. And now that I got a hang of it, we should be able to bust them up pretty quick. and let me just think about it for a little bit. I don't want to rush it. Let's get a little water. 7, 8, 9. So reflection, tree. Okay. We'll take just like a 2-minute break. I'll be back. Got what I need. You say he's just a friend. Oh, we gotta center this a little bit. Our right side should be down a little. Hope that's better. Wait. Did I do it backwards? Totally backwards. Dang it. Nope. Oh, way worse. I should just leave the painting and just move the table. Oh my god. Okay. Here is the table. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to do that. Top left should be black. Get a little wet. Hot tub. And we're gonna use black paint. Go with the flow. Okay, so we got a few trees laid out. I started them right on the horizon, evenly balanced. Let's see if we can keep them going. There we go. Now we're talking. There we go. Maybe add a little bit of more darkness up here. But right now the reflection's looking good. Let's go to this tree here. I don't know. Alright, I like it. We'll add some more black up here. See if we can do it there. It's too much. It's okay. Soften it up. Probably soften this up a little. Down there. I hate to do it. Alright. We're looking good. I like it. We got some trees reflecting. Let's see. Very good. Very good. Still got one more spot to advance. It's added. We're gonna go straight up. Not great. See if we can. Yep, we just got rid of that. Got rid of that. Just do some red. But it's good. Let me get this down a little. Got it. All right. Let's just fade that out a little bit. blend it up. Alright, what next? It's always the question, right? Well, I need to wash my hands. We're pretty much halfway through, and what I want to focus on next is, these are all a little too close to the same size. I want to get a little more variance, kind of thing. Alright, hands washed. Okay. Next, we're going to add trees here, finish it, and then we'll start making it so it's more like water. All right. Next step. How about do medium, very thin, thick? Okay. Too much. Pretty symmetrical. I like it. Not perfect. focus. Okay. So I'm trying to lighten it down here because this is the water reflection. But I need some more paper towels. So I should probably add some more water. Fluid going, keep the adjustments alive. So it's time to add very tiny amounts. Might have to add marks it again. Can we do 3 at a time? No, let's do 2. Okay. Let's get a little water on the bottom. This is going to be faded because it's the reflection. Getting there. Alright, we're pretty much fully hot, committed at this point. Maybe too much. Let's roll with it. Here we go. Fuck. Alright. Slow down. There we go. Just kind of delete some stuff. So far we've kind of got the basic layout. Not a whole lot of little cool details, which is really the best part, which we're about to get there, I think. Just trying to keep it nice and easy. Oh yeah, that felt good right there. Spray it up a little bit. it even. So what next? Let's make sure we get this centered. Let's do a couple stretches. What does this need? We need branches on the top. Little branches to add. We definitely. We don't have a lot of gray. It's mostly white, black, and that little light gray that I had earlier. What to add? What to add? Trees. So we could really add some really thin trees. Let's do that. So we're gonna switch up from our palette knives to a brush. Let's use this brush. No. There, yep. This is just a flat brush. So we can start adding a little black. Reflection, sure. So we're just adding little details, little instead of big trees, we're adding little vines here and there with a little brush. Add some little water. Let's keep rolling. We're gonna start. gotta add them. Need some more different direction. I think I gotta have it going this other way. Like this. Right here. Get it? Getting there. Let's do a little. Little kind of stuff like that. Branch. It's more prominent here. Let's do a little of this. Add a little bush here. All right. So we'll connect that. Okay. So we got a pretty good reflection going. Keep spraying the bottom half with water. Eventually we want to erase a lot of it. Put some water in here. And we're sort of getting to the conclusion of this particular stream. It is getting pretty late in the evening for me. But let's try to get a few finishing touches. And who knows, maybe we'll have a part 2 of this stream and finish this up. Who knows how much longer it'll take? You never really know. I'm assuming I'm probably about 75% of the way through, but I don't think I really have stamina in me to finish this painting here. Just make it a little bit more bold. So maybe starting over here, we'll go with this guy. Let him go. There we go. This is pretty decent. Let's give it a little bit more. Fuck. Fuck that up. All right.
There's a little gap. Here we go.
Not bad. Let's get a little bit more here. All right. All right.
Gotta add some more here.
Maybe not. Maybe a little bit. All right, we need to add a little here. Shit. I'm going back from that one. Where's that? Oh, crap. Past my bedtime. A little tired. Making mistakes. Alright, we're getting close. Alright, we're getting there. We're just about to the end of the stream. So if you've been watching, it's pretty patient of you. Probably didn't learn a whole lot, I don't know. Hopefully you learned a little bit. I'm gonna see if I can't mark. Alright, so we're gonna have to commit right here. Current is going to the right. No, let's go left this time. Oh shit. Pretty good, huh? I don't know. What do you think? Everything's upside down. So, ideally, I'll add a lot more detail. Right now, we've just got the trees and the reflection, and the water is floating by, but I want to add more detail to the water. So this will just be part one, because I don't want to end here, but I have to end here tonight. But eventually we'll add some more water detail, so it looks more like water. We'll add a little bit more detail to the trees, so they look more like trees, branches, maybe something even floating in the water here. We could have a duck or a person. Might have to be it for tonight. It's hard to say. I've been looking at it for so long, it doesn't look like anything to me right now. Alright. I just gotta stop. No? Right here? Stop. I gotta stop. But it's looking good. It's looking really good. I like it a lot. I just need more time on it. So, this is Clever Trev. I would like to thank you for watching. Next time, I will see you. Let's try to paint on it. Almost 3-hour stream. Cool. So click that. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Click.